લક્ષ સ્કૂલ ઓફ સાયન્સ બામણમાં ઓનલાઈન અભ્યાસ રસાયણ વિજ્ઞાન લેસન 2 દ્રાવણમાં તમારું હાર્દિક સ્વાગત છે. સ્કૂલ દિવસે દિવસે પહેલાં ઝલક જોઈશું અને સૌથી પહેલાં જોરદાર રિઝલ્ટ વિશે તમે વિચારી શકો છો કે આપણા મજાનું રિઝલ્ટ અહીંયા તૈયાર છે. ઓકે, ત્યાર પછી આપણી સ્કૂલમાં ધાર્મિક કુમારને, મિત કુમારને, હિમાક્ષીને, ખુશીબેનને શું મળ્યા છે? સ્કોલરશિપ સર્ટિફિકેટો મળ્યા છે. અને એ જ રીતે આપણું આ ધોરણ 12નું પરિણામ તમે જોઈ શકો છો. તો એવી જ તમારા પાસે પણ અપેક્ષા સાથે આપણે
જય હિન્દ વાલે મિત્રો, પ્રિય વિદ્યાર્થીઓ અને માનનીય પેરેન્ટ્સ, તમે જાણો જ છો આ મહામારી દરમિયાન બધાની જ નાણાકીય સ્થિતિ સારી નથી. છતાં લક્ષ સ્કૂલ ઓફ સાયન્સે ઘણી ધીરજ ધરી ઓનલાઈન ટીચિંગ ચાલુ રાખ્યું છે. આમ લક્ષ સ્કૂલ પોતાની ફરજ ચૂકી નથી, તો આપણે આપણી ફરજ ચૂકવીશી જ ને. તો વિદ્યાર્થી મિત્રો, વાલીગણ, જે વિદ્યાર્થીની ગયા વર્ષની ફી બાકી છે એ ભરી દેવા અમારી નમ્ર વિનંતી છે.
પ્રિય વિદ્યાર્થી મિત્રો અને માનનીય પેરેન્ટ્સ, આપણે ઓનલાઈન ટીચિંગ ચાલુ જ નથી રાખ્યું, પણ અન્ય કરતાં આપણે ઘણું સારું કાર્ય પણ કર્યું છે. હવે ઓનલાઈન ટીચિંગ લગભગ 5 મહિના થવા આવ્યા, તો ચાલુ સત્રની ત્રિમાસિક કે 6 માસિક ફી તો ભરાવી જ જોઈએ. હજુ આપણે ઘણું કાર્ય આગળ કરવાનું છે. માટે શિક્ષકો અને સંસ્થાનો જુસ્સો જળવાયેલો રહે. જો ફી ભરાશે તો એ પર આધારિત શિક્ષક પરિવારના ઘર પણ ચાલશે. આ મહામારી દરમિયાન આપણે એકબીજાનો સહકાર બનીએ.
જય હિન્દ વિદ્યાર્થી મિત્રો અને વાલી મિત્રો, આપ સર્વે આ ફી નિયમિત ભરી ઓનલાઈન ટીચિંગ માટે શાળાના શિક્ષકો અને મેનેજમેન્ટનો ઉત્સાહ વધારશો. સંસ્થાને નિયમિત આર્થિક સહકાર આપી આપના બાળકની શૈક્ષણિક કારકિર્દીને વધારે વેગવંતી અને સશક્ત બનાવશો. સો ઇટ્સ અવર હમ્બલ રિક્વેસ્ટ ટુ ઓલ ઓફ યુ to pay the fees as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Welcome back students to the Lux School of Science, and today we are going to discuss about the last topic of our lesson number 5, that is surface chemistry. Dear students, still we have learned lots of things in surface chemistry, like what is the colloidal solution, okay, and in this colloidal solution we are talking about the charge on the colloidal solution. In previous case we have studied how we can develop the charge on the colloidal particle. Now we know that in colloidal solution, colloidal particles which is known as colloidal phase is there, and another thing, the solvent like material which is known as colloidal mediums, okay, or dispersion medium we used to speak as this. Now today we come to know that how we can identify the charge on the colloidal particle. We have discussed a lot that arsenium sulfide AH2S3 is negative charge. We have discussed that FeOH thrice is positive charge. Now how we can say that it is negative charge or positive charge? Okay, and for that purpose the method is used is known as electrophoresis. So by means of electrophoresis we came to know the electric charge on the colloidal particle. Now how? The process is known as electrophoresis. In electrophoresis we have to take one U-shaped tube. One U-shaped tube is taken. In this tube, for the reservoir, one another tube is kept in this pattern here. Funnel like material is kept, which is the reservoir for the. In this U tube, okay, the portion of this area is cut out and it is added with positive charge platinum. and here also it is cut out, stored out, and here it is added the negative charge platinum. So one side positive charge and another side is negative charge. Now whose colloidal particles electric charge is to be measured, that is taken, thrown from here, and suppose now this is the colloidal solution is we have filled up. In this colloidal solution, suppose these are the colloidal particles. Okay. Now, when electricity is applied, due to that electricity, this area become positive charge and this area is become negative charge. Now, suppose that the colloidal particles, what we are going to measure are positive charge. So, this positive charge particle starts to move towards the negative side and they start to collect clustered out here and they will stored out at a negative area. And due to that, we can say that yes, what we were using was nothing but the positive charge. So like this, we can come to find out the positive charge or negative charge onto the colloidal particle. This process is electrophoresis. So this is our electrophoresis process by which we can come to know about the charge on the positive charge or charge on the colloidal particle. Now dear students, question arises here. If anyhow we will stop the movement of the colloidal particle, okay, colloidal phase ની આપણે movement બંધ કરાવી દઈએ અને જો આપણે આ મેઝર કરવા જઈએ તો શું થશે? So dear students, it is found that now the colloidal medium start to move one place to another place. The charge of the or the particle of the colloidal medium start to move, and such movement of the colloidal medium, this phenomenon is known as electroosmosis. That is known as electroosmosis. So dear students, what is the difference between electrophoresis and electroosmosis? Electrophoresis, in this case, the colloidal particles start to move, and in electroosmosis, the medium will start to move. That is the basic difference between electrophoresis and electroosmosis. So I hope that you understand the electrophoresis process. So now I would like to explain you a new thing, and that is nothing but the coagulation of colloidal particle. So let's study coagulation of colloidal particle. So coagulation of colloids. Dear students, we know that the colloidal particle kept them separate. They do not associate out. They do not merge into each other because they are having charge. All are having same charge, so they will repel each other and they will not get together too. Okay? And this process can be stopped. How? How we can stop this process? So if we remove the charge from the colloidal particle, then what will happen? They will merge out. And as they will merge out, they will be precipitated out and settle down. This process of the colloidal particle is known as coagulation of colloidal solution. So the colloidal particles, when immerse in each other, or they associated out and they become heavy and they will settle down. So therefore we can say that the process of settling of colloidal particles is called as coagulation or precipitation of the salt. Okay, so I hope that you understand how the colloidal solution can be precipitated out or the coagulation out. Okay, the following process we can do, okay, for the coagulation of colloidal. So first process for the coagulation is known as electrophoresis. Just we have discussed, that is only. So by means of electrophoresis method, just we have discussed, we can gather out the positive charge one side, and due to that reason, as they will appear to the negative charge, they will lost their charge, and as they are losing their charge, they convert into the no charge position, and due to that no charge position they will precipitate themselves. So first thing is by electrophoresis method. Okay. Second, by adding opposite charge colloidal salt. So suppose we have positive charge colloidal salt, and in this case if we will add the negative charge colloidal salts, then positive charge and negative charge may be neutralize each other, and as they will neutralize each other, now the colloidal particle do not have any charge, and due to that reason they will mutually coagulated out. પહેલા પોતપોતાનામાં એ લોકો એકબીજામાં ચકડાઈ જશે, and they will mutually coagulated out, or mutually they will precipitated out. So for example, suppose we have ferric oxide XH2O solution, that is also ferric hydroxide or solution. Now this ferric oxide or colloidal solution has, we know that positive charge. In that case we are adding arsenium sulfide. We know that arsenium sulfide is negative charge. Now ferric hydroxide and arsenium sulfide when get together out, at that time they will neutralize each other, and the coagulation of ferric oxide and coagulation of arsenium sulfide will be very easily occur. So for the coagulation process we can do these things. So I hope that the second process you understand by which we can coagulate it out. Now third one is boiling. Dear students, by boiling also we can coagulate the colloidal particle. Now by boiling means what? So when we will boil the colloidal solution, at that time these start to lose the dispersion medium, and we know that dispersion medium is always opposite charge than the colloidal particle. Now as they are losing the opposite charge medium, that's why the colloidal particle also start to lose the charges, and as they will lose the charge, now there is no need to repel each other, and they will start to associate with each other by the van der Waals force, and hence they will coagulate out. So by boiling also we can make the same result of the coagulation. By continuous dialysis. Now what is dialysis here? So dialysis is nothing but the dead kidney dialysis. Yes, you understand, true. The filtration process or the dialysis process. So by continuous dialysis process we can also make the charge particle. આમાં તમે ડાયાલિસિસ કર્યા કરશો એટલે એ વધારે ને વધારે ક્લીન થતું જશે, અને વધારે ને વધારે ક્લીન થતા એના ઉપરના જે પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ કે નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ છે એ પણ ડાયાલિસિસ પ્રોસેસમાં નીકળી જાય, and they will lose the charge. Now as we know that why they are not getting gathered out, because of the charge, but as they will lose the charge, now there is no way, and they will merge in each other and they will coagulate it out. So that is the another process ke by persistent or the continuous dialysis, also we can convert them into the coagulation. And last one is very important, and that is nothing but by adding electrolytes. So by adding electrolytes, dear students, we know that to make the colloidal solution, we know that lyophilic colloidal solution we are adding some electrolytes. Now when we use some electrolytes, as the electrolytes has positive and negative charge both, some positive charge or negative charge will be deposited out on the colloidal particle, and that's why it is stabilized itself. So this is the process. But if more amount of electrolytes is added, so at that time due to the more amount of the electrolytes, now positive charge and negative charge will be separated, and that negative charge is in more amount, then they will suck out the positive charge onto the colloidal particle. કોલાઇડલ પાર્ટિકલ કાં તો પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ છે કાં તો નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ છે. હવે એમાં ઇલેક્ટ્રોલિસિસ નાખીએ તો ઇલેક્ટ્રોલિસિસના અંદર વધારે નાખીએ તો આપણે એની અંદર વધારે પોઝિટિવ અને નેગેટિવ આયન હશે. તો એમાંના પોઝિટિવ કે નેગેટિવ આયન કોઈ પણ હોય એ ઇલેક્ટ્રો જે કોલાઇડલ પાર્ટિકલનો ચાર્જ છે એ પોતાનામાં ખેંચી લેશે. એન્ડ ધેટ્સ વાય નાઉ colloidal particle has no charge. What will happen? They will merge inside and the association will occur and they will settle out, which is known as coagulation. So by this method also we can say coagulation is occurring. But before to study this, we can say that the ion which we are using, electrolytes ion which we are using to remove the charge on the colloidal solution, okay, that process is known as actually flocculation. So flocculation means what? So flocculation is very easily when we are improving charge onto the colloidal particle. This process is known as flocculation. So now here we are going to study one rules, and these rules is known as Hardy-Schulze rules. Hardy and Schulze rule. So Hardy-Schulze rule, according to this rule, for the coagulation of the colloidal particle which we are using the ions, okay, this ion is known as fluctuating ions. So what we are using here, fluctuating ions, its ability is fourth power of its charge. Any charge છે એના કરતા fourth power જેટલી ability છે. Okay, as the charge is greater, that's why we can say that as charge is greater, the ability of the coagulation will be more. As charge is greater, the ability for the coagulation will be more. Now what is the ability of coagulation? If we will talk about, suppose કે આપણા પાસે colloidal particle negative છે, તો colloidal particle negative ને આપણે fluctuation કરવા માટે અથવા તો એનું coagulation કરવા માટે આપણે positive charge વાપરવાનો છે. Now we are using aluminium +3, barium +2 અને sodium +1. તો કોનો ચાર્જ વધારે છે? તો એની એબિલિટી કોએગ્યુલેશન કરવાની બેરિયમ +2 કરતા વધારે છે, બેરિયમ +2 ની સોડિયમ કરતા વધારે છે. ધેટ ઇઝ સિમ્પલ. સપોઝ કે પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જને આપણે કોએગ્યુલેટ કરવો છે, તો પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જને કોએગ્યુલેટ કરવા માટે વી આર યુઝિંગ ધ નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ. તો નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ એઝ અ PO4-3, એની એબિલિટી સલ્ફેટ કરતા વધારે હશે અને એની હાઇડ્રોક્સાઇડ કરતા વધારે હશે. બટ સપોઝ કે આઈ એમ પુટિંગ ધીસ, I am taking FeCN6-4. તો આની એબિલિટી આના કરતા પણ વધારે હશે. So ability to make the coagulation is higher if the charge is high, and that is the simple communication process. So we can say that for the coagulation process we have these 5 methods in TEC. Okay, so with this we are ending the lesson number 5. Hope that you understand.